All right, you guys, come on out here. We're going to sit down here and we're going to get you started in your training for being crewmates on this steamboat.
All righty then.
You do have a seat right there.
All right.
We're going to go over some simple rules for you to learn so that you can learn how to work on this steamboat. Sit there, pay attention, and we're going to do real good. These rules are simple and easy to understand. General rules. Each competence requirement is derived from a task that needs to be performed. The competence requirement is stated in an objective format to clearly define what has to be done to satisfy the requirements of the competence. At the same time, it facilitates the derivation of assessment criteria and the assessments to measure the individual competency. The 69 competence requirements are grouped into 3 distinct functional domains, which are further subdivided into 9 subject-based groups. Each competence requirement is allocated a level of cognition that can be used to determine the type of assessment required to measure competence. The competence requirements require application of theoretical knowledge, intellectual skills, and physical skills. All lines proceed by the crewmate shall be able to describe the role of class as an independent third party, recognize prerequisites for a valid class certificate, list owner's responsibilities for retention of class, describe different types of surveys, describe how class record findings from surveys are reported, state the definition of conditions of class, state the definitions of memorandum for owner, recognize examples of memorandum for owner and condition of class, hull and structures loads, describe how a simple beam is used in ship structures and where it is most widely utilized, describe the effects of loads higher than the structure is designed for, describe the possible consequences of a load acting on weakened structures. Describe the effects on the ship structure resulting from improper cargo loading, overfilling, vacuum. Identify ship construction terminology. Distinguish between static and dynamic loads. Give examples of static and dynamic loads. Distinguish between local and global loads. Give examples of local and global loads. Distinguish between shear forces and bending moments. Explain how the structural strength of a ship is achieved. Preparation. Interpret previous reports on identified problems, including notices that references to sister vessels. Determine critical areas to inspect. Explain the factors that increase the quality and efficiency of inspections. Give examples of reason for cleaning prior to inspections. Give examples of substances that can be removed by cleaning. Assesses if area to be inspected is clean to an acceptable standards. Buckling and indents. Describe the differences between the loads causing buckling and indents. Identify which defect is most critical, buckling or indents. Identify the most critical areas for buckling, general and ship type specific. Identify the most critical areas for indents, general and ship type specific. Give example of events causing indents. Recognize buckling. Recognize indents. Distinguish between buckling and indents. Fatigue cracks. Describe how a fatigue crack occurs. Identify what loads are causing fatigue damages. Recognize fatigue cracks. Explain the importance of expanding the inspection if a fatigue crack is found in one detail of many. Describe the growth rate of a fatigue crack. Identify the most critical areas for fatigue cracks, general and ship type specific. Identify possible consequences. on structure due to fatigue cracks. Stress. Describe the relationship between stress concentration and fatigue life. Identify details that are causing stress concentration. Explain how stress concentration occurs in structural details. Coating and corrosion. Name types of coating breakdown. Categorize what to look for during coating inspections. Assess coating breakdown and its severity. Explain triggers for corrosion. And finally, the most important and always must rule is to pay attention when the captain is speaking. You guys did a great job. I appreciate your attention during this whole matter. I think we should have some lunch. Let's go down to the galley and work on it.